Welcome back. We cross now to our head of news, Bronwyn Seaborne, who's in Cape Town for the Africa Unlocked conference. Bronwyn, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, what's the focus of the event?
Well, this is the second year running for the Africa Unlocked conference that is taking place here in Cape Town at the Norval Foundation. And this year's theme is Business Unlocking Africa's Tomorrow. And what that means is really focusing on how Africa can shape the agenda moving forward rather than just responding to it. And so we find all the discussions that are taking place, all the panels that are happening, really honing into why now is the time for Africa going forward. There are high-level voices here and really a great sense of putting Africa back into the global agenda and discussing the themes that really matter to the continent.
Right, Bronwyn, now let's get into the meat of it all. What has been a highlight from this morning's session?
Yes, so overarching, we have this theme of putting Africa forward, Africa writing its own narrative, being a continent with a voice, with an agenda, moving forward into the world, not just taking its cues from the global community. And so we've seen that already happening in some of the panels that took place this morning. We had a panel specifically on reshaping Africa's narrative and making sure that what is being presented to the world about Africa is true, that there is potential on the continent. And we had Standard Bank CEO Sim Chavalala part of that panel, really pushing forward the idea that there is opportunity here. There are great ideas on the continent, and so it's not that Africa is a problem that needs to be solved. Instead, it really is this platform of opportunity.
And the keynote speaker, or rather the keynote, was given by Ndaba Gaulate, Vice President of Botswana, this morning. What did you take away from that?
Yes, we had Botswana's Vice President doing the opening address here, and he was again very positive about the African story. But one thing really important to note about what he said is that the time for government-led growth in Africa is done. He said that now we need to see that it's the private sector that's coming to the fore. And you could see everyone in the room shuffle nervously, and he gave the idea on how that is actually going to play out. He said that we need to become more friendly towards private sector. We need to cut the red tape. We need to make sure that we create an enabling environment for businesses to come into countries in Africa and get the growth going on some of the important issues that the continent is facing, such as energy supply, etc.
And Bronwyn, what else can we look forward to from the conference?
Lots and lots and lots of discussions happening here. I mentioned how we're reshaping the African narrative here, and that's really broad strokes from the discussions that have happened today so far. But we drill down into that further during the conference, and we take a look at things like trade wars. How does that impact Africa? We take a look at the crucial sector that is agriculture, and how to make sure that what's taking place in that space is really supportive of Africa's tomorrow. There's also even a presentation by Standard Bank's chief economist, Gulam Balam. He'll be taking a look at the government of national unity. So really in-depth discussions happening here. And the hope is really that this doesn't just become some kind of talk shop, that at the end of this, there's actual action that is spurred by this. There are ideas for investors, for business, for key stakeholders that they walk away from here so that tomorrow's future for Africa is a bright one.
All right, we have to leave it there. I know you have lots to do at the conference. Thanks so much, Bronwyn. Now, lots to look forward to, and you can keep up to date with what's happening at the Africa Unlocked conference right here on Business Day TV by either watching Business Lunch or The Close both today and tomorrow.